Good day everyone, my name is Kayla, and today I'll be telling you the story of the Red Sea to celebrate our Independence Day. The story today comes from the book of Exodus. So, here we are in the story. The Israelites have been slaves for many years, and they wanted to be free, so they cried out to God, "Help us!" God listened to their cries, and they sent a person named Moses. Moses went up to the Pharaoh and told him, "Let my people go." But Pharaoh wouldn't let them go. No. "Fan harder." So, God sent trouble to the Pharaoh. First, God turned the Egyptian river into blood. But still, that didn't work on Pharaoh. No. Then, he made frogs invade Egypt. There were frogs everywhere. Then, God sent zillions and zillions of gnats and flies. But still, Pharaoh wouldn't let the Israelites go. No. So, God punished the Pharaoh some more. God then made all animals wild. All of them. Then, he sent a terrible plague upon livestock. But as always, Pharaoh would not listen. No. He sent sickness and boils throughout all of man in Egypt. Next, God sent hailstone. Those are just pieces of ice, but they're just falling from the sky. Next, God sent a swarm of locusts. If you didn't know what they are, well, they're just like gnats and flies, but only they ate all of the food. But get this, Pharaoh still said no. No. Next was complete darkness. It was dark everywhere, but still, Pharaoh's heart had hardened and he would not let the Israelites go. So God sent one final plague. All of the firstborn in Egypt would die, unless lamb's blood had been painted on the family's doorstep. And that did it. Pharaoh woke up to a great cry throughout Egypt. Pharaoh's son had died because he didn't obey God. He finally said to the Israelites, "Go." So they left. The Israelites left that very night. They didn't know which way they were headed or which way to go. But all they knew was that God had promised them something. He said,
"I will show you a new way, a new land, and a new home."
So, to help them out, God sent the Israelites a huge cloud. You can see from here. It's like one of these. The clouds were for the Israelites to follow during the day, and it glowed at night with warmth so that the Israelites wouldn't get cold. When it was time to move, like this, the cloud followed them. And when we stopped, the cloud will stop too. So, the Israelites walked, and they walked, and they walked, and they walked until they were at the edge of a great sea. It was a pretty big sea, so they were wondering, how do we cross the sea? As they were wondering, they suddenly heard the sound of thundering and pounding. It sounded like horse hooves. Turns out, when the Israelites were wandering the deserts of Egypt, Pharaoh had changed his mind. Again. Could you believe it? He wanted the Israelites back, and now Pharaoh's army was chasing after the Israelites. The Israelites didn't know what to do. They panicked. They were stuck behind them, a giant ocean. They couldn't cross it. They didn't have any boat or any horses, if horses could even swim. And in front of them was a whole army. Pharaoh's whole army was chasing them down. That's pretty terrifying. So they panicked. Full on panicked. the water was too deep and long to swim through, so that wasn't an option. So, as Pharaoh's army got closer and closer and closer, Moses told them, "God will make a way for us to escape." And then, something strange happened. Something I bet even you and me haven't seen before. The cloud that was following the Israelites moved behind the Israelites and hid them from Pharaoh's army. Then God told Moses to raise his hand and his staff, and wind appeared. The wind blew all night long until the ocean parted. There were two towering walls of water. The sea parted, and the middle was completely dry. The Israelites took a step, and a step, and another step. Right where those huge, enormous waves had been. The Pharaoh's army realized what was happening, and they tried to run after the Israelites. But, unfortunately, the Israelites all have gone to the other side. So Moses raised his hand again, and his staff, and the waters connected. After they parted, they connected. It was a sea again, and it drowned the whole Pharaoh's army. The Israelites were saved! So, the moral of the story is that God always has a plan for us, and as long as we trust and believe in Him, He will guide us through all our troubles. And that is the end of the story for the Red Sea. Until I tell another story. Goodbye. Thank you for listening.